Surprise. 2.5 hour drive flies by with cracking laughter. Surprise. A visit to a record store. A half hour flies by, weighed down with albums. Surprise. 12 flights of stairs, near Heart Attack and Vine at Heart Attacksville. Surprise. Friendship, hugs of memories and good times. Surprise. Reserved seats, the dead Thatchers, Keelow, a couple of pints, surrounded by Ouijas, new friends. Surprise. A PJ party, friends parting the next day, hugs and well wishes, new memories for the scrapbook. Surprise. Graining of Elch, mysterious, strong and proud, rainbows forming, dissolving in the rainy weather, dancing with fairies. Look there. Where? There. No pot of gold. Lots of rain though. Into the mystic with Celtic folklore. Surprise. 2.5 hour drive flies by with cracking laughter. We say goodbye with hugs and kisses, memories made for me and you, by friends like those like you. Surprise. So welcome to Acoustic Haven, and that was a wee poem that was written, yes, it's called Surprise, 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 and it was written for two dear friends of mine who took me away at the weekend, and everything that was written after the word surprise was genuinely a surprise, and it really meant a lot to me. Darren Livingston and Marie Mullen won't mind me mentioning their names, I'm sure. So thank you to both of them for such a wonderful weekend. And meanwhile, behind the camera, Darren's giving me fingers trying to make me laugh. But anyway, let's get on with the show. Hope you like the poem. Enough of the sweet talk. Tonight we have back in the studio the wonderful Karl Devlin. He's got a couple of new songs for us, so we're in for a wee treat tonight. Let's hear it. Welcome, Karl.
was Angie by Davy Graham, made popular by Burt Jansch, covered by Paul Simon on Sounds of Silence album, I believe. But he's probably the biggest influence on my approach to music, in the sense that he was very, very much headstrong in his approach. He listened, and he took influence sparingly, I would say. You know, he was very headstrong. He knew what he was capable of, essentially. You know, a great example is his approach to She Moved Through the Fur, where he took that traditional Irish piece and he applied it to a Middle Eastern tuning, or Middle Eastern approach to it, and changed the name of it. She Moved Through the Bazaar. And the idea was to show the similarities there between, you know, the music of the Middle East and Irish music, in that sense. He popularised Dad Gad tune, things like that, you know, which is something that I've only been falling into the past couple of years, but I found that in regards to my vernacular, how I speak, my what would be the correct term for it? Just the dialect of the Irish, very much suited to the Dad Gad tuning, and the phrasing and how we say certain things. You know, maybe that's just me personally, you know. But I'm enjoying exploring that. It's influencing in regards to some of the approach that I'm taking in regards to trying to highlight the connection between blues music and Irish music, in the same sense that Davy Graham done with Middle Eastern music and Irish, you know. There's numerous different things you can go into there for even short examples. I mean, a fella called Otha Turner, who's one of the hill people, Mississippi Hill Country. But he was known for playing the fife and with a drum accompaniment. Mm-hmm. And the fife was like a 3-note, short flute type thing. And when you hear it, it's very reminiscent. It's like reminiscent of the flute and drum bands from here, you know. And the best comparison that I could put to it would be, you know, blues is very rudimentary. It's known for to be very rudimentary, where his Irish traditional stuff is like university grade in comparison. Yeah. You know, that's not to take anything away from the intricacies of blues music that can be there, but in regards to form and shape and form and shape and how clever the changes are in regards to the Irish music, and using all the notes and everything and all the chords and everything which you have available to you, essentially, you know, is very much, and not just use it, but use it, you know, in a scholarly way in regards to the song, you know, and knowing how to accentuate the chord that's being played at a certain time and timing and things like that. It's very, very, very intricate. Yeah. But it's good, you know, it's something that's, for somebody who likes to learn, it's a gold mine. You'll never get lost or you'll never get bored. Yeah. You'll always have something to turn to or go into. Planksty, he done a version of an old Irish song, Raggle Taggle Gypsy. Yeah. And, you know, that song and other songs were carried over throughout the numerous, you know, voyages across the water, across the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah. People come over for whatever reason, whether that be they were getting sent to the colonies for some sort of crime, or they were emigrating for whatever reason. Yeah. But one thing that definitely came with them was music and instruments, things like that. And Woody Guthrie has a song, Gypsy Davy, which is essentially the Raggle Taggle Gypsy, you know. But even at the same time, you know, as you have the Raggle Taggle Gypsy, and as how old is that, it's also known in different shape and form in different parts of the world. So in England they have the demon lover or the house carpenter,
Right, okay.
as it was known as. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that one at all.
No.
Well, I made the version of that just to show what I'm talking about in that sense. It's got the same theme, you know, but it's not a gypsy as the protagonist, it's a demon lover, so it's like
Right, okay.
the lady in the song's husband comes back from, he died at sea, shipwreck or whatever, came back as a ghost to take her away to hell, essentially, you know. Very dark stuff. But the theme is very much universal in that sense, you know. It can be seen in different things, like the Ragtag Gypsy and like like Woody Guthrie's Gypsy Davy. At the same time, you know, there's Lakes Upon a Train, which is a well-known Paul Brady does it in Irish and he does it in English, and
I haven't heard
know,
that, but I've heard that's brilliant.
it's a lovely song, beautiful song, but it's the same sentiment as an old Irish song called The Nightingale.
Right, okay.
You know, and it's also the same sentiment as the one that's been more recently modernised and popularised by the Mary Wallopers, As I Roved Out,
right,
which was done by Planksty and by the Dubliners as well, you know, and that's actually essentially a blues song, you know, As I Roved Out, because it's got the form of a blues.
right.
It's got the repeating first line.
Yeah.
Who are you, my pretty fair maid? Who are you, my honey? And you repeat it. Who are you, my pretty fair maid? Who are you, my honey? Oh, she answered me quite modestly, I am my mother's darling. So it's the same shape as a blues song. And even the instrumentation to it could be likened to, you know, and then you take that form and you apply it to anything really, you know, and it's, you can see the roots of the roots in that sense, in the forms of the songs that are copied, or maybe just by chance. Maybe somebody's heard it at a party long before the internet and that, so you don't necessarily remember it right away, but they remember the theme of the song, or it rumbles around in their head and it comes up and it comes out in a different form, you know. One of the things, I'll do a version of the House Carpenter, because it's an old. Well met, my own true love. Well met, cried she. I just returned from the salt sea, and it's all for the love of thee. I could have married a king's daughter there, she would have married me, but I have forsaken my king's daughter there, and it's all for the love of thee. Well, you could have married the king's daughter there, I'm sure you're the one to blame, for I am married to a house carpenter, and I'm sure he's a fine young man. Forsake your house carpenter, and come away with me. I'll take you where the green grass grows on the shores of sunny Italy. Well, up she picked her babies three, give them kisses 1, 2, 3. Said take good care of your daddy while I'm gone, keep him good company. Well, they were sailing about 2 weeks, I'm sure it was not 3, when a mate come up on to the deck, say it was some company. Oh, are you weeping for your house and home, or are you weeping for your bee? I'm not weeping for my house carpenter. I'm weeping for my babies three. Well, what are those hills yonder, my love? They look as bright as snow. Those are the hills of heaven, my love. You and I will never know. And what are those hills yonder, my love? They look as dark as night. Those are the hills of hellfire, my love, where you and I will unite. As I say, like the theme, somebody coming and trying to take the wife away from whatever, it's quite common. In the Nightingale, the theme is a soldier with a girl and have a good time, same as I wrote out. She says, "Oh, you coming back and we're going to get married?" And it's like, "Oh no, fuck, I have a wife at home." You know, it's like, what? Or just plain no. Because it's a great line, and as I wrote out, what does he say? When broken shells make Christmas bells, we may well get married. But I mean, that is a common theme of another song that I've sort of made my own. I was playing a wee bit of it earlier, and you asked that I take, you know, Led Zeppelin, Bert Jansen.
Yeah.
That's Blackwater Side is the song.
Yeah.
And I feel very akin to myself in regards to that song because it originates, where my name originates, from the River Blackwater, which runs, it's a tributary into the Loch Ness on the Tyrone side of things. So being a Devlin, or Devlin, depending on what way you pronounce it, that's where the name originates. We were under the O'Neill clan and organised the Flight of the Earls. It was the Devlins that organised it, we didn't take part. But the River Blackwater, considering, you know, these are things only found out when I was maybe 15, 16, discovered an old war medal, great grandpa's war medal, found the name, able to do a bit of homework and found out a bit more about the family and where they were from, and opens up a lot of different things in your head, you know.
Yeah.
But that song in particular I always felt a great akin to, especially in regards to the history of it. But was even more so recently I found a lost verse. But not necessarily a lost verse, but a verse that Bert Jansen didn't include in his recording of it. When I heard it was actually the Clancys, I came across the Clancys doing it, and they included the final verse, which is a resolution in the song. It's like the final reply.
Yeah.
So the premise of the song is you know, two people meet, have a bit of crack, there's talk of marriage. Once they've had a bit of fun, the talk of marriage is gone, and the girl calls him out on it, you know, and it's a bit of back and forward rebuking. Yeah. But some of the phrasing, it's phenomenal, you know. It's something that I will include when I'll record it for the album, with the accompaniment that I was talking about earlier, you know. Morning fur, I took you there, down by Blackwater side, gazed all around me. The Irish lad I spy. All through the fore part of the night we lay in sport and play till the young man arose, gathered his clothes, said farewell for today. That's not the promise that you gave to me when first you lay on my breast. You could make me believe with your lying tongue the sun rose in the west. So then go home to your father's garden. Go home, man, you can weep your fill. You can think on your own misfortune. You brought what you want and will. Not a flower in this whole wide world that's as easily as lead as I. When fishes fly, seas run dry, then you will marry I. Morning fur, I took you there, down by Blackwater side, gazed all around me. The Irish lad I spied. One of the main guys who talked about it before, Robert Johnson, and I've been working on writing in Irish, but listening to Sean notes and taking phrases and and trying to adjust them. And one of the pieces that I think I've settled on was wanting to do a bit of a crossover from Robert Johnson piece on the guitar and my lyrical approach. What it would be, what it would have been like if Johnson was a Gaeilge, or even any language in that sense. The pronunciation of the words and stuff fits very well in the particular piece that I found. It's Johnson's Malted Milk. He plays it in, he played it in D, I played it in C. So, but it's the form of it suits the structure of the song for some reason. I've played it a million different ways and different structures, slide, but there's just something about this fits. So I'll give you a run through on this. This is my take on it. It'll be called Broky Vristia, Broken Shoes. Well, the store I will too. Well, the store I will too. I will a sugar chromium who. Broky vrestje barn wall. Broky vrestje barn wall. That makes you just a good smile. Neeram a makkar moji, neeram the fui shug, ta makes you the creep breast ya. Neeram a makkar moji, neeram the fui shug. Ta makes you the creep breast ya. Broky vrestje sleep. Broky vrestje sleep. And will a sugar Neil me clonium who. Johnson's extremely, is playing like even that. How would you even come up with that? That just to keep that rhythm going. Guy was a genius, But I mean, one song in particular, Irene Goodnight. I've written a verse for that from the last time I was here, and through listening to old Shannon stuff, in particular there's a piece from Tory Island called Amran the Scadden, which is Song of the Herons. It's about the fisherman, old fisherman looking back on his days and remembering knowing that he'll not be out in the sea again. And just it's a song of remembrance. Lovely, some lovely phrasing in it, I'm actually working on a version of it, but it's not ready. We'll be using the Dad God tune, or just that shape of tune, But in regards to Irene, what I want to do, as I maybe explained before, was have it recorded like a New Orleans type thing, but with a lot of traditional Irish instruments, harps, fiddles, bouzouki, stuff like that, but with some horns as well, See how it sounds altogether. It might sound terrible, but I'll look at it and see what it sounds like. Nah, well, here it's an idea, so it'll be a memory, hopefully a good one, But the verse I wrote, wanted to make sure that it was very much, in keeping with the original translation from Kitty McGallagher. I don't want to detract from with my bad translation, do you know what I mean? So it took a bit of time. Ogham Sana Wallam the Hellas a cheer Wallam the Ogham San Ocean the rain the curse a tear Irene O.J.T. Slan Slanlet Ara Irene Ara Kid Slan Gla Ta Hul Mi Mosh Mi Near Adam, a mock armagine, Carry go G, and E. Tell me go, a piece of wench jet, August a curl, Ram Cree, Irene, O.J.T. Slan, Slanlet, Ara. Irene Ra Kid Slan La Ta Hul Mi Mosh Mi Kesar se cardle ma foster Har me hinchi Tell my lish, tell my head, say scarlet Tell my hul in Paris Irene O.J.T. Slan Slanlet Ara Irene Ra Kid Slan Gla Ta Hul Mi Mosh Mi
Brilliant. What a show, man. The best Delta Lagan blues singer around. Absolutely fantastic. And it just goes to show that once again, even coming back for a second time, there's still new music to discover from Karl, and it's always a pleasure to have him on the show. Hopefully we'll get him back in March when his, fingers crossed, his album will be out. And yeah, so from us, I'd like to say thanks to Karl for tonight. Absolutely amazing. Thanks to Darren for jumping up and down like a wee, whatever, runner bean, chili bean, stupid bean, whatever. Anyway, I'm running out of words here. Thanks to Darren for doing all his magic.
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean. Thanks to, oh fuck it. Thanks to Inkhaven for sponsorship. And next week we have on Turn the Page, who are new to both me and Darren, so we're looking forward to that one. So from us all at Acoustic Haven, we'd just like to say thanks very much for tuning in. See you next week.
But I've noticed the past few while that my voice has come down in tone by about an octave, and I was struggling for a long time. I hadn't acknowledged it, and every time I was singing, I was going to a higher register and I was blowing it. So, playing everything a step down, and fuck, it's like I haven't had the issues I was having, you know. After I was singing the way before, after a song or two, it felt like I've been deep throating a fucking cactus. Do you know what I mean? It was fucking brutal. But sure, what are you gonna do, you know? Yeah, it's all about the learning, I mean.